Hello, and welcome to the Clarity Practice podcast. I'm Gary McRae, the founder of the Clarity Practice in Singapore, an AI ethics and governance professional and fractional CMO. Today, we're discussing a critical mandate for Singaporean leaders, the urgent need to shift from an outdated managerial style to one based on trust. As businesses pour capital into AI and digital transformation, the biggest challenge isn't the technology, it's the human leadership required to guide the change. Singaporean leadership today faces a core tension. How do you enforce accountability in a hybrid, decentralized environment while simultaneously fostering the high trust that drives innovation? Recent data confirms this dilemma. While companies are ramping up AI spending, a significant gap remains between technological adoption and true organizational readiness. A failure to build a strong foundation of trust and integrity will, quite simply, stall even the most well-funded AI initiatives. As Minister Chee Hong Tat observed, we cannot control global events, but we can adjust our sails. And for leaders, adjusting the sails means intentionally instilling clarity and trust into every layer of your organization. For years, managers focused on monitoring inputs. Are they at their desk? Are they logging enough hours? In the new economy, that mindset is obsolete. Successful Singapore-based firms have demonstrated that flexibility is a reflection of trust, not an exception to it. They've succeeded by transitioning to outcomes-based management. This means aligning expectations through clear, measurable goals and training managers in empathetic check-ins, focusing on what was delivered, not when or where it was delivered. Managers must be coached out of the monitoring mindset. If you don't trust your people to work autonomously, you fundamentally limit your firm's potential for high performance. So, how do we make that shift practical in daily operations? The transition requires replacing time-based reporting with impact KPI. Stop counting hours and start measuring things like task completion rate and project cycle. Time managers must implement focused check-ins, changing the conversation from a status update to roadblock clearance. This demonstrates trust by focusing on enabling your people. However, building trust isn't easy. The most common obstacles we see in hybrid teams are proximity bias, that unconscious favoritism towards people you see in the office, and communication gaps. You overcome these by designing trust intentionally. Implement virtual first meeting norms to ensure consistent inclusivity, and standardize your communication policies. Which channel is for urgent issues and which is for general discussion? Moving to the strategic level, the third step is about integrity in an automated world. The Monetary Authority of Singapore, or MAS, and the UK's FCA recently announced a strategic AI and finance partnership to champion safe and responsible AI. This confirms that integrity and governance are now global competitive factors. Leaders must ensure their AI systems, from hiring tools to fraud detection, are fair and compliant. A failure of integrity in automated processes will immediately destroy cultural trust. This vigilance extends to training employees as your first line of defense against scams, a collaborative effort which, impressively, recently foiled over $33 million in potential losses across Singapore. Your leadership team must possess the ethical clarity to vet and correct algorithmic bias. This brings us to the final, most crucial step. Invest in managerial emotional quotient, or EQ, not just technical skills. The most critical investment in the AI era is not software, it's the leadership skills of your managers. Managers who lack EQ cannot coach teams through change or sustain connection in a hybrid setting. This is where targeted executive coaching comes in. It is behavioral and measurable. It begins with a 360-degree baseline to identify specific gaps in a leader's delegation or active listening. The coach then works with the leader on real-world scenarios, helping them translate improved behaviors into measurable business outcomes. And the return on investment is substantial. The ROI for coaching is often quoted at 5 to 7 times the initial investment. You measure this by comparing post-coaching 360-degree assessments to the baseline, quantifying the improvement in competencies like delegation, and correlating that directly to tangible savings from reduced staff turnover and increased productivity. Singapore is entering a phase that demands extraordinary stewardship. to build a business that is resilient, digitally ready, and capable of attracting top talent, leaders must commit to the strategic asset of organizational trust, the clarity to define outcomes, uphold integrity, and lead with empathy is what separates companies that simply spend on technology from those that truly lead the future of work. Ready to transform your leadership team's capability for strategic trust? Explore our corporate leadership development programs today. Thank you for joining us. You can find links to our executive coaching and leadership development services in the description below.